I think we see it very, very much as an international series, and we're both very conscious of the debates that have been raging within English language teaching over the last 10, 15 years about English as a lingua franca, and English becoming increasingly the global language, and English not necessarily as the preserve anymore of native speakers. We've tried to include within the texts a wide range of different international contexts. So, for example, the students will learn about things like schooling in Korea, or they'll read texts about a night out in Buenos Aires. So they have windows into different aspects of the world and different cultural, social, political phenomena around the world through the texts. In addition to that, I think we've tried to ensure that students get exposure to a wide range of accents. Not necessarily with a goal to them replicating them in terms of pronunciation, where I think we still adopt a sort of relatively native speaker, relatively RP kind of goal, but with a view to them being able to process different kinds of accents and to regard different kinds of accents as normal. Whether that is native speaker accents, whether they hear someone from Glasgow or someone from London or someone from New York or someone from Canada or Australia, or whether that's non-natives that they hear, so they'll hear French accents, Russian accents, Chinese accents. So we've tried to include that. We've tried to include some conversations which are actually non-native speaking to non-native, to show students that this is how English works in the real world. So, for example, there's a conversation in a restaurant in Peru where a Peruvian businesswoman guides a Swedish client through a Peruvian menu. Also, what we've tried to do is to ensure that the international contexts are things that can somehow be personalised and appropriated by the students. So with things like the menu, for example, where the Swedish guy gets guided through this menu, this then leads to a task where the students have to write a menu for their own country in their own language, and then role play a conversation where one of them pretends to be a foreign person, having a business meal or having a meal with people from that country. So they then have the opportunity to personalise and localise the language that they've been given themselves. And that's a very important principle for us, that there's a kind of global perspective, but there's also a lot of attempts for the students to be able to take that language and then re-personalise it themselves from their own local perspectives.